games, and all things nerdy. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Des Moines Con is bigger and better than ever before, with guests like Daredevil himself, Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, also from Daredevil, Full Metal Jacket, Law & Order, Saturday Only, plus other great guests from voice actors to authors over the entire weekend. 3 days of action-packed fun at the Iowa Events Center Hy-Vee Hall. Tickets start at $60. Kids tickets are just $8 for the entire weekend. Don't wait to get your tickets. Buy your tickets and get more information at DesMoinesCon.com. And don't forget, Madison Comic and Pop Culture Expo and Twin Cities Con are coming up this year too. New guests are being announced all the time. Go to NerdStreetUSA.com for more information.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
With a look at your AM 950 forecast, this is Adam. Tonight, clear with a low of 62. For tomorrow, a high of 90 under sunny skies. And tomorrow night, a low of 65. Let Natural Lawn handle lawn care so you can enjoy your lawn. Organic-based, environmentally friendly lawn care for over 30 years. Feeds the soil naturally with fewer unnecessary chemicals, safer products for kids, pets, and the planet. For more information, go to naturallawn.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakken. Thank you very much for joining me on this Monday evening. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend here in Minnesota. It was hot, very hot. And as I mentioned on Casual Friday, that we had a fire warning out that you can't burn anything. And me being the prolific grill person that I am, and I use charcoal that has open flame, I'm like, well, I'm not even going to risk it. I'm not even going to do it. So no grilling for me this past weekend. And you know what? I'm glad, because I even heard today, secondhand, I think there was like some kind of grass fire that started outside of Hopkins, either grade school or high school, right? Something. And it's just, because grass is really, really straw-like, really hot. Today we hit 90, didn't we? And we hit 90 over the weekend. And just everything is kind of little straw-like at the moment. So you got to be careful with all that. So I hope everyone's staying cool out there, and both, metaphorically as well as physically. I know everyone who's listening is cool, so I appreciate that very much. We're going to have a great conversation tonight. This was actually meant to happen last week, but I was not feeling well, and I asked if everyone would mind if we move this to another week, and that's tonight, May 3rd. It was National Paranormal Day, and I just, I don't do this very often. I thought, what if we get some fine folks in the paranormal to come on and talk about what paranormal means to them? Is there a difference amongst different people, which I would assume so, and all sorts of things that we can talk about that I'd like to hear my guests' thoughts on the paranormal, as well as everyone. I'm not taking calls tonight, but if you want to put it into the comments what paranormal means to you, did you celebrate National Paranormal Day? Do you, what are your thoughts on all this? This is something that I really want to make sure that we have a fun idea about what everyone else thinks. Originally, we were going to have Wade Kirby join us, but he is out with Annabelle the doll, and they're traveling around, and they're in New Orleans right now. So Wade asked if he would. He asked me if it's okay that he wasn't part of the show tonight. You don't need to ask my permission. You just don't show up. So it's quite all right. But I do have with me two people I like quite a bit. First off is evidential medium Debbie Romero. Debbie's been on the program a number of times. And Debbie, I just want to say, first of all, I want to say thank you for a lot of things. You've always been very supportive of everything I do. But when I went to your website today and I was looking at just a little bit more about what you're doing and stuff, and you have on there featured on, and you have my show as featured on, and I am just so touched by that. So many people, when they do, like, I've been on this show, they never mention my show. So I'm so grateful that you did that. Thank you very much.
Oh, Greg, thank you so much for even having me. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with your guests and your listeners, and Jeremy as well. I'm here because of Jeremy. So I'm on Things Network because Jeremy York reached out to me. It's over a year now. And so it's been a privilege to be able to work with people who are like-minded. And thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Now, the other guest that Debbie alluded to is Jeremy York. He is the founder of Things Network. Things is out of, if I'm not mistaken, Jeremy, Indiana. And you have a lot of chapters of paranormal investigators around the world. Plus you do, like I said, Things Network, which is a network like I'm on Get Haunted, a network of wonderful Facebook Lives of paranormal programming. Jeremy, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good tonight. A little tired. Did a lot of very physical work because we had a storm heading our way, and we got 4 straight days supposedly of rain. And I wanted to get my yard and my dad's yard mowed. And needless to say, I was pretty spent by the end of that.
Well, what a shame you had a radio show to do tonight too. Did you do any other shows on Things today?
No, I did not.
And okay, well then that's good. You saved yourself for us tonight, and we're very happy for that. Jeremy, I also want to say that the same with Debbie. Jeremy has also been very supportive of me throughout the years, and I just want to thank you for that. I really do appreciate that. It's been great. I think about Jeremy in particular. I think I've known Jeremy for a couple of years. Jeremy, I've known you for 5 or 6 years now, I think.
Somewhere around there. I do know that we became friends before I got hurt.
Yeah.
And that was 3.5 years ago. And we were friends for at least a year before that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been to your house.
You have? Twice?
Yeah. Yes. So there we are. So that's great. Why don't we talk a little bit about paranormal? And this is one of the things I want to do is I want to kind of get an idea of what it means to both of you, and figure out, kind of realize, like, there are so many. You could do this any way you want. When I say do this, speak to spirit, do investigations. I have a wonderful psychic medium with me. I have a wonderful investigator with me. Where do those areas blur? Where do those areas stay separate but respectable? All that kind of stuff. And so, Debbie, I want to start with you. When I say paranormal, what does that mean to you? What comes to mind for you?
Unknown, mystery. What is this? What am I feeling? What am I sensing? What is happening? So for me, it's the unexplained, when it comes to the phenomena of spirit world.
That's great. I mean, and that's one of the things about it, right? Is that you don't know, and as a medium, you might know faster than everybody else in the room, though, too, at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's cool, but also you're going into so either depending on the circumstance in someone's home. So it's also a vulnerable place that you could be stepping into, circumstances, situations. So it has an ebb and flow of different responses and energies. So yeah, it's really interesting.
It really is. Now, Jeremy, I'm going to ask you the same question. What does paranormal mean to you?
It means a bunch of different things for me. honestly, because the term paranormal is a wide range of different things. So the unknown is probably first and foremost, because that is what we are seeking when we're looking through the paranormal. We are looking for the unknown, and it can be in a variety of different settings. Rather, if we are looking for the unknown from a ghost standpoint, if we're trying to figure out what's going on in a home or a business, um, or it could also be something. Okay, what's going on in the woods? Are there any creatures in there like Bigfoot or Yeti,
Mhm.
uh, aliens? That's probably the biggest unknown for us out of everything.
Sure. No, that's really good. So, Jeremy, for you, when did it become like, this is my work in the paranormal is not a hobby. This is a lifestyle, and I think it's fair for me to say that for you, right? When did that transition happen for you?
I don't know if I can say specifically when it happened. It's just something that kind of started very, very small, like in the late 2000s.
Mhm.
And it just gradually grew bigger and bigger and bigger for me. So I don't know if I can say definitively any one point where it became a lifestyle. It's just something that was I guess a natural evolution in my life.
Absolutely, you get there, and I just want to say, I see in the comments, Laura, we don't delete posts, so nothing's been deleted. So listener is wondering if we deleted any posts. We did not. Debbie, what about you? Is there where was there a point that you felt like that this is bigger than what you thought it would be, or was this with you for so long that you never knew life any other way?
I would say that it's actually something that's unfolded. It becomes part of you as the journey begins, and every aspect of myself that I visited, it just continued to grow and grow. So it is bigger than that I expected, and it became a lifestyle because of the sensitivity that I have. It's really honoring the energies of what I come with and the energies around me as well. So it became a lifestyle in my 20s, when I really dove deeper into taking care of myself.
So there came a point that you realized, if I'm reading this correctly, if let me know if I'm not getting this quite right. You saw that you figured you have gifts, and you realized that you needed to take care of yourself to be able to hone those gifts.
Right. I've always been sensitive since I was little, since I was 4 or 5 years old. So I've always been able to see spirit, connect to the energies, not fully understanding, And when that develops and when that happens, there's this feeling of anxiety that can develop. A lot of times we're out of our body, we're not grounded. And so we're very quickly to want to be in that spirit realm based on, for me. And so it was really important to understand, why was I so sensitive? What was I feeling? And why did I know things by touching things, or, just knowing things before it happened? So as not having a mentor at a young age can be very frightening. And so once I learned that, I was able to hone in and harness that, supernatural energies. I wanted to say superpowers.
Well, why not? Right?
Right.
Why
Superpowers
not?
of the spirit world.
If I have a sound effect of like a superpower
Yeah.
sound effect over here, I wish I did. I'm really missing out. Jeremy, when did do you have superpowers, Jeremy, and do you use them for good?
I have the power of invisibility.
I can't see you. Where did you go?
Where are you, Jeremy?
I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I do wish I had superpowers, because it would definitely come in handy in life sometimes.
Yeah.
So I am a very big fan of the Marvel cinematic universe. So I kind of live vicariously through some of those guys.
Sure. Do you feel like you don't have, and I'm trying to remember, Jeremy, because we've investigated before. Do you think you don't have any gifts, or do you just don't focus on that, or what?
For the longest time, I was always a disbeliever of gifts, period. Because there's been a lot of people that have, out there that have been proven to be a fraud.
Yep.
Yep. But over the last few years, I have had certain people prove to me, okay, these things do exist, and I have also been having something of an inkling of it myself, because for whatever reason, when I get to a certain place, I'll be drawn to a specific spot. No rhyme or reason for it, and then later on do a little bit of research on that spot, and it turned out that something very significant happened for that location that I didn't know about. And the biggest one actually happened in Colorado when I was with Adrian and her husband Zach.
Mm-hmm.
We went out to a location that is now a disc golf place.
Yeah.
And I was drawn to a specific tree. It just seemed like it was out of place. And it turned out that where this tree was, the entire property used to be a very large, like, farmland, and right behind this tree was the house that got burnt down.
Oh.
And for whatever reason, I was drawn to that tree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I've learned to pay attention and realize that it doesn't happen every time, but every once in a while, I will get this hunch about something, and more times than not, there ends up being something about that.
Does that make you want to hone your gifts more, or are you more, because not everybody who has gifts, and everyone has gifts, but not everyone who's getting them necessarily are like drawn to, like, well, I have these, I want to hone these. I think there are some people who, for whatever reason, it's their own decision, much prefer maybe not to. What are your thoughts? If, like, you're feeling that, do you want to learn and get better at that?
I honestly no, because one, I have a very short attention span. So when trying to learn something like that, it would take a tremendous amount of effort. And where I have been for the last 4 years of my life, I just don't have that time to be able to put in that kind of effort, even now.
Yeah.
So, and I've always been a more scientific route kind of guy when it comes to the paranormal. So I rely more on that, because by using audio and video, I have that to use to back up claims. When using specific gifts, I can mention certain things, but I've got to be able to have something to back that up to make the client believe it. I can't just go up there and say, I felt whatever over here, something's happening. I don't want them to take me for my word unless I actually have definitive proof.
Now, it's interesting. Laura in the comments, she says, ever had astral projection happen while you slept? We can talk about this a little bit more, because we're going to take a break here in a second. But I do want to say that is one of the things I've always wanted to be able to do. But I was just talking with somebody just the other day, messaging them about it. And one of the reasons why I felt like I've never been able to get there, per se, is exactly what you said, Jeremy, that to be able to kind of slow down, right? And slow down and focus and really be, just kind of center oneself is, for me personally, makes it very difficult to think about how can I do that. And I think that covers a lot of things in my life at the moment. But we're gonna get to all that in a second. Why don't we do this? I want to take our first break. When we come back, I want to talk about National Paranormal Day. I want to talk about how you both investigate, kind of piggyback off of what Jeremy said in this last segment, plus anything in the comments. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakken here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakken here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville. It's that time of year again where the weather is getting nice and it's time to get out of the house for some family fun. Lilliput is the perfect place and is open for the season. Be the first to take on their newest escape room, The Bunker. It's intense, exciting, and totally unforgettable. Prefer spooky? Try the Haunted Mansion. When you're done escaping, hit the mini golf course, go-karts, and jump pads. Lilliput is perfect for parties and group events too. Visit lilliput.net for hours and start your spring adventures at Lilliput.
Des Moines Con returns to the Iowa Events Center Hy-Vee Hall May 30th through June 1st. Des Moines Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall, and Artist Alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Des Moines Con is bigger and better than ever before, with guests like Daredevil himself, Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, also from Daredevil, Full Metal Jacket, Law & Order, Saturday Only, plus other great guests from voice actors to authors over the entire weekend. 3 days of action-packed fun at the Iowa Events Center Hy-Vee Hall. Tickets start at $60. Kids tickets are just $8 for the entire weekend. Don't wait to get your tickets. Buy your tickets and get more information at DesMoinesCon.com. And don't forget, Madison Comic and Pop Culture Expo and Twin Cities Con are coming up this year too. New guests are being announced all the time. Go to NerdStreetUSA.com for more information.
And please consider coming out to Des Moines Con. It's going to be coming up May 30th. And I'm happy to say we're going to have a table out there, and I'm also presenting. And I am looking very much forward to that. It's the same people that put on Twin Cities Con, which had about 35 to 40,000 people there. I don't know how many people are going to be at Des Moines Con, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope that you all consider coming out there. And if you do, please try to find our table and say hi. If you are watching from Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken on Facebook, I'd just like to ask you consider sending some stars my way. Sending me stars, what that does, it kind of changes the Facebook algorithm so that this show becomes a little bit more prominent when people are looking for shows like this. We want to make sure that we are available for people to see, and it would really support the show. Another way to support the show is by joining my Patreon, and it starts as low as $3 a month, and it has on there, one of the things is the archive of 10 years of my show. Really would appreciate it if you consider doing that. That's patreon.com/Ghostbox Radio. Welcome back. We have with us today, we're talking paranormal. What a surprise, right? And we're talking about National Paranormal Day. We have with us evidential medium Debbie Romero. We also have Jeremy York of Things Network. And we're just kind of talking right now about all sorts of things. And when Jeremy had said that he is much more scientific than, medium, let's see here. Where was that Courtney says, but we also need people just like you, Jeremy. Let's not get carried away though, right? Right. God forbid if we let a compliment pass through here, right, Jeremy, without me coming at you in some way. That's tough love.
Real quick, I also want to add that if people heart your videos, it will help with the algorithms as well.
Yeah, so heart away. We always want a heart.
Don't just do thumbs up, do hearts.
Now, we've been talking about paranormal in general, and this is kind of spurred on by National Paranormal Day, May 3rd, and I personally didn't do anything about that. I didn't go out, and I didn't, I personally don't fall into this is national this day, therefore I must, be a part of it. Debbie, I want to ask you, based on, and this isn't trying to put anyone on the spot or trying to start anything here. I'm curious because I get where Jeremy is coming from. I really do. When he's like, if I'm going to a client and I'm going to say, something, I want to be able to back it up with something. Right. With being a medium, and you go to a lot of clients as well, it's not quite the same. What's your take on that, as far as like, when you are talking with a client, that's not the same situation?
Well, we're going through different layers, right? And I can actually understand what Jeremy's saying. For me, when I walk into a property and I'm using the equipment and I'm focused on the equipment and how spirit is wishing to present themselves, there's a different frequency and vibration that we're tapping into. And so for me, I'm actually not in the full channel. I'm waiting and I'm holding the link and the power to build up. So the energy is building up, not just from spirit, but from me. And so it's like a friendship. Hey, Greg, how you doing? Hey, Spirit, how you doing? And so we're getting to know each other. And so the equipment itself, as it's moving and it's showing, whether let's say the SLS and it's showing the pixel sticks, I was able to hone in on the energies to say, I feel, I saw, and he's here, and then the equipment, boom, there it is. I didn't really open it up and expand it at that moment into a full-on reading, but it was enough to say I can feel the essence, I can feel the energies, and I can feel the shifts, because spirit is energy. And so when Jeremy is sitting here and saying, I had this hunch, I felt to go here, I can't explain it, and that is part of the unknown. The psychic awareness is leading you. We all have senses to see, to feel, to hear, to know. So we are all able to hone in on that. It's to the level of how we attune ourselves to the energies. If we go in, I'm just grateful that I'm able to blend with the energies of spirit and unfold it afterwards. But there is a different type of energy when you're going in with the equipment and then channeling in on it. So it is very different, but it's all still providing the story. And so it's just taking time with it.
And what you're also saying, which I think is something that I think this community needs to learn, not Jeremy, not you, I don't mean that, but there's room for everybody. Everybody plays a role.
Yeah, definitely. When you have a team and the team is coming together, it was really cool. I remember going into an investigation and I was watching everyone do their part, and I was a guest. I wasn't part of the team. I was there as a guest, and this was a big deal. This was at a Glen Tavern, and I got to walk through the different areas. And when I saw something and I got a calling card, which is a symbol in spirit talking to me, and then the obelisk starts to go off and says it, and I'm like, oh shoot, we're matching. So
Yeah.
I get the validation when the spirits are speaking through the machines. It definitely helps. I
love that. I mean, Jeremy, what about you? I mean, one of the things I absolutely love is having having a great moment like that, with having a great medium say something and then being able to have that validated by equipment.
Yeah, that's actually something I was going to touch up on with what Debbie was saying. When when we're at a client's house and Scott Smith, he is my right-hand man. You
Yes.
actually met him at that convention.
I did.
There have been numerous times where he would get a feeling about a specific spot in the house that I don't. He is probably the strongest person I know when it comes to honing in on that special gift that he's got. And he'll let me know, hey, I'm kind of feeling something about this room. Let's put a camera in there. So we put a camera in there. And there have actually been a few times, one actually recent back in January, where he felt something and I actually caught it on camera.
Wow.
And presented it to the client. She thought that was amazing. So that is one way of utilizing for me. If somebody has a gift like a medium, psychic, or just somebody who's sensitive, hey, can we kind of focus on this? Absolutely. Camera goes right there.
You should have sent that footage to Myth or Mystery so we could say it wasn't real. So
hey, I have sent you two.
So not cool.
Actually, I think you guys were done at that time.
We'll never be done. So that is really cool, and Scott is great. So that's pretty amazing. And Debbie, you've relatively recently, you've started using Spirit Box, haven't you?
Of course, my friend Greg introduced me, and we worked with it. And so when I do an investigation, I actually set it up. I put the EVP recording. I record from the beginning till the end. So whatever gets picked up, the client gets it. I sit and I do a little channeling to see and comb through the energies. But I like Jeremy, when we go to take me to the problem. The people already know when we're going into the area, there's a specific area that they are already being diagnosed with paranormal. So it's like, let's not waste time. Let's get in there. Let's get to the main part of the property. But for me, as channeling, not only do I have to go still through the client's energy, it goes to their energy first, their layers, and then the problem is like who is here and what's being brought forward, because there's so many timelines that we're tapping into, especially on properties and businesses and hotels and places. So it really is a fine combing of time and patience. And
it truly is. And I think that is one of the greatest things that you could say about what we do. Nothing is rushed, right?
Right.
There is nothing that you can rush and get into, and everything that you want to you want to do. And I think kind of, Jeremy, would you agree with this of you're not making grand statements just off the cuff, just as much as you want to make sure that you can have something to back up what you say. You're also not going to just say like something like gut feeling just off the cuff because you just got there, or you need time to kind of really see everything before making an opinion on something.
I do need a little time. The best thing to do is just have whoever lives there take me through the house. That way I can try to make an informed decision on what to put where. You've seen all my stuff. I have a car full of equipment to the point where I can't even fit a second person in the car. And I do that because I let the location dictate which equipment I'm going to use.
Yeah.
But lately, I only do that for residentials. Whenever I go to most big locations, I don't even bother, because more times than not, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So I just go in for the experience and to also just kind of mosey around like a little mouse and explore everything.
Well, and that's a valid point too, that we love to put on events. We love to get people involved and kind of get a taste of what a paranormal investigation is. But a paranormal investigation at an event versus a paranormal investigation that you've been brought in for, or that you're doing a residential. They are two very different things.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's something that's not an elitist comment. That is more of just, we want people to have some fun at these events, but once you get into a residential in particular, you really want to make sure that you got the right people there to do the investigation with. Debbie, are you doing a lot of residentials?
I am actually, which is interesting. And you nailed it, Greg, when you talk about a personal residential and someone who is really frightened about the physical mediumship that's taking place, and when they don't understand it and they're seeing it, and now everyone has Ring cameras, they have cameras in their home. Yep. And they're picking up on the energies, and now they are awakened because they've taken steps to go into meditation, into healing, and working with crystals, and not realizing that their energy is playing a factor. So it's like honing down. Okay, let's close this vortex. Let's close this portal. Okay, what's happening? Is it your energy or is it truly spirit? And it is a lot different than just going into an event where it's a hotel or a place where it's tragic. It's very different because you're dealing with someone who is very frightened. You're dealing with someone's emotions, and it can be very, very sensitive on what comes through, because you're also combing through their personal life. As a medium, I'm picking up their experiences of what they've been healing from as well.
Now, Jeremy, as you know, and we're talking, and for those, if I'm not being very clear, and I apologize, because this is lingo that we all use, and we don't necessarily always know if everyone is following. When we say residential, it's clearly what it sounds like. We're going into somebody's house. They've asked us to do so. They're having some sort of communication problem with spirit, and they bring us in, and we try to help both spirit and the people living in the house. Jeremy, when one of the big difference too is when we're talking event versus residential, and I know that you do both as well very much. There's a lot of detail that is taken down at a residential investigation opposed to going to an event where we're just having fun, right?
Absolutely. And to be clear, in the last 2 years, I've only done 5 total investigations. Sure. That's how hectic and busy my life has been. But when it comes to doing a public location, an event like say the one that we did in Kansas, I honestly do not even consider that as an actual investigation. It's just something that's fun for people to come in to see what we do. It's almost like, I don't want to say we're putting on a performance for them, but in a way that's almost what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, for a residential investigation that I go to, or if a business calls me in,
yep.
I actually have a 3-page questionnaire, and it's very detailed. It's actually kind of invasive because there is a lot of mental questions on there. Like, have you had any? Have you been diagnosed with this or that? Have you done drugs? Do you smoke? Do you drink? Yep. Any arrests? Things like that. Do you have any neurological issues, not only with yourself, but within your family? Something that can be inherited. I got all of this stuff down. And also there's things on there, what's the history of the house? Are you near a cemetery? Are you near any large bodies of water? Cell towers, things like that. I tried to do this so that we can try to figure out, okay, what's really going on? Is there something happening in the house, or is there something that's going on outside the house that's causing you to think that you're having these issues, to make you hallucinate? Like for cell towers or power lines, is this client sensitive to the EMF,
Mm-hmm.
and that will cause them to hallucinate or have audio hallucinations.
We did that, and we had one in January, and that's exactly what it was. It was EMF, and you answered a question that Damien had about mental health. We could get into that even a little bit more after the break, but I do want to say another part of what Jeremy's doing, and we do the same thing. We have a 3-page piece as well that we go through with our possible clients. Folks got to remember, we have to protect ourselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we're not going into a situation that is dangerous. And there's been a number of times, I'm sure with the both of you as well, that you might turn down an investigation because something just doesn't feel right. And we are under no obligation to take everything that comes our way. And
Right.
we have the right to do so. We also have the right to suggest other teams, but I might call those teams and just be like, hey, just be on the lookout. You know, you can do what you want, but just be careful, you know, all that good stuff. We got to take a break here. There's a lot of questions in the comments. I want to get to those. And people are enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. I hope you two are enjoying this as well. We're going to be back here. Don't go anywhere. We're going to continue our conversation about just great paranormal investigating by two wonderful people, Debbie and Jeremy. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Greg Bakken here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com. It's that time of year again where the weather is getting nice and it's time to get out of the house for some family fun. Lilliput is the perfect place and is open for the season. Be the first to take on their newest escape room, The Bunker. It's intense, exciting, and totally unforgettable. Prefer spooky? Try the Haunted Mansion. When you're done escaping, hit the mini golf course, go-karts, and jump pads. Lilliput is perfect for parties and group events too. Visit lilliput.net for hours and start your spring adventures at Lilliput.
Des Moines Con returns to the Iowa Events Center Hy-Vee Hall May 30th through June 1st. Des Moines Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall, and Artist Alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Des Moines Con is bigger and better than ever before, with guests like Daredevil himself, Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, also from Daredevil, Full Metal Jacket, Law & Order, Saturday Only. Plus, other great guests from voice actors to authors over the entire weekend. 3 days of action-packed fun at the Iowa Events Center Hy-Vee Hall. Tickets start at $60. Kids tickets are just $8 for the entire weekend. Don't wait to get your tickets. Buy your tickets and get more information at DesMoinesCon.com. And don't forget, Madison Comic and Pop Culture Expo and Twin Cities Con are coming up this year too. New guests are being announced all the time. Go to nerdstreetusa.com for more information.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakken here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours, Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information. And join me tomorrow on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken. We are going to have on guest psychic medium Char Savoy. We're going to be talking about, the light subjects here. That's what we always hit on Ghostbox Radio. We're going to be talking about higher conscious connection to alien. That's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Where do we get to that next level to be able to communicate with aliens? If you've listened to my show before, you know that is one of my favorite conversations to have. And we're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about a couple other things as well. Looking very much forward to it. The rest of the week, it looks pretty good. We're gonna have Wednesday, just gonna be a Just Greg Paranormal Chat. Thursday, we're gonna do a replay of Why There's Doubt, Moon Landing by author Craig Fraley. And then Friday, as usual, is Casual Friday. We are talking about National Paranormal Day, but more appropriately, we're just talking about paranormal investigating with a couple friends of mine here who do it very well, and they've been doing it for a long time. I have evidential medium Debbie Romero, as well as paranormal investigator and founder of Things International, Things Network, All Things, Jeremy York. And Jeremy, there's one thing you wanted to kind of close the loop on with our discussion from last segment.
Yeah, when talking about these forms, there's another very important form that most investigators, I think, don't have, but I think they do. And another way that you were talking about, in a way of protecting ourselves, is to have waivers and liability forms, so that when we go in and do our thing and come out, people are not going to go and say, "Oh, they did that." It's absolutely ridiculous. So we also need to have a way of protecting ourselves legally so that nobody can try to sue us. And that's why it's very important to have waivers and liability forms.
And I'd also like to add to that, too. We also do a form with what sort of visibility could we give to this case when you are doing a residential case, as far as like publicity, whether it's publicity for our own team to kind of show what we do versus their own privacy. Privacy is a very big part of it all, and this is the part that might bum people out. You sign a waiver as well for privacy's sake. We always do 3 levels of what can be shared. And if the client signs something that says we don't want anything shared from this whatsoever, you could have Abraham Lincoln as a ghost come into the house, tap dance in front of you. You have it all on camera, and if they sign that, you can't share that. You can't talk about it. That's the code. And Debbie, have you ever had Abraham Lincoln tap dance?
He was like, "Hey, Greg, what's happening?"
He didn't say your name. He said mine. That's awesome.
He said, "Greg, what's up?" And I see you with Jeremy too. So let me hats out to both of y'all, right? But you're actually speaking truth. There are big cases where we are signed, those waivers where we're not allowed to speak on it. And so there's some pretty amazing things that we could witness and be part of, but it's also something sacred. And I think this is also reminding us that we are jumping into something sacred. We are blending from one realm to the next realm. And, there's this apparitions that people want to see, and they want to have evidential proof, but the proof is very gentle. It's very subtle. If we can look at it and pause, and as Jeremy said, I was guided to go to this tree. Yeah. His instincts, he followed that heart in his gut. So there's a lot of different, unfortunately, different levels of how we can share it, what can be shared, and what you're comfortable with. And there's a respect to the work for the client and for spirit. So you got to use discernment, and with the people that come in that are willing to hold space to say, "Babe, I got you. Let me support you. Go ahead, share it." I mean, it's for you, spirit, and they're in charge. So what's being released is because it's supposed to be released.
So, okay. Debbie, have you ever, we talk about the privacy, like, of the client saying, don't share anything. Have you ever had spirit ask you not to share anything that they divulged to you?
Yes.
And what was it? No, I'm just kidding. I've had it too, actually. I've had it one time in all places at Bobby Mackey's Music World. There's an apartment that the caretaker used to live in, Carl. And we were up there, and psychic medium Nicole Hopala was there with me. It's just the two of us, and we had an angel actually tell us some stuff that never to share. And pretty incredible. I mean, I asked her I haven't seen her, Nicole, in a long time. And when we last saw each other, I said, "Do you remember that we were sworn to secrecy?" She goes, "Yep." "Have you ever said anything?" "Nope." Yeah, it was really cool. How about you, Jeremy? Anything? Oh, I'm sorry, Debbie, you were going to say something.
But that's a gift.
It is.
Right there, it's a gift from spirit where you're getting the blends and the energies and the intelligence. If we go back to the astral projection, every time we travel and we get to connect, there is an exchange of energy when we're visiting those certain areas of timelines that our soul essence are meeting. So it is personal. And sometimes we forget that. And so that's a gift to you from the angels.
And there's a way that they see trust that we don't, that we see at surface to start with, and then we get there, but they see deeper into us, don't they? Like they know right away. It's almost like the way that an animal trusts human, like certain humans. Like
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm sorry, Jeremy, for interrupting your
No.
going to Jeremy on that.
Yeah, this better be good though, Jeremy, because we're on a really deep part of the show here.
Well, first of all, I have been to Bobby Mackey's, been into that little apartment up there.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was when you went there, but when I was there, that entire apartment was gutted. No drywall, no nothing. It was all wood studs and everything. They were doing a complete renovation of it.
Oh yeah, well, they've really done a complete renovation now.
That's one way of putting it. As a general rule, when it comes to private residences, I do not share anything to the world. I do not share anything like what Courtney was saying. It is sacred. I do not share anything at all to let people know, hey, I found this and this, that, and the other, to try to bring more eyes to me. That's not what this is all about. Although some people may argue with that. Now, that said, that first piece of evidence that I submitted to you on Myth or Mystery was from a residential, but that was from many, many years ago. And the person that lived in that house when I did that investigation does not live there anymore. So I felt okay with sharing that to people, because this person no longer lives there. Nobody even knows where this house is at or what city, this, that, and the other. And plus, this evidence was pretty compelling.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. You know, and sacred is a good word for it, but I'm gonna be honest. I think that if you get their permission, I am also somebody, I think you both will know that I'm not somebody who likes to post stuff because I want attention. But you know, if you're doing a presentation to some people and they're not in the paranormal and you're using it as a teaching tool or something else, I don't think that's a bad thing. But once again, I have to have the permission of the people that I did the investigation with. Otherwise, if they say no, then forget it. It's not going to happen. But you know, there are things for that. One of my biggest pet peeves, though, and I don't think any of you have done this, but there's like local groups that are like, you know, pray for us because we're going to do an investigation tonight. I personally don't even want to. I don't want to announce that I'm doing private investigations. I don't see the purpose of it other than trying to get people. And they might be like, well, they said pray for them. Well, honestly, I think that's even a bigger concern, in my opinion, if that's what they're asking for before going in on it. I don't know that's my friends. That's something else that maybe we come back on at some point and talk about the kind of the over publication and the publicized version of what paranormal is versus what maybe we think it is, because I just feel like that's something. And Debbie, I don't know what your thoughts on this. You know, I feel like that it's kind of gotten to the point that we almost forget that there is such thing as paranormal investigating, in my opinion, because we make it so public now and make it so like almost like a popularity contest, in my opinion.
Right. I think every case is different, right, Greg? I think every case is different, and I think we go based on the circumstances. If it's for show, as Jeremy has said, because it is, you are going from one level of energy to a next, and so when you know that the case has been investigated before, it's set up specifically for a ghost walk or a ghost tour, you know that that's going to be for entertainment purposes. But we also remember that there is spirit and someone's father, someone's mother, and I've done ghost tours at the Glen Tavern with a friend, and I'm also channeling the loved ones of the people in the tour, because the machines are picking up the loved ones. So when it comes to publicity and people with their cameras and phones, it's very much the new age of where we are today. And that's just where it's at. It's the times, but it's also, you guys are veterans, you're old school, so you're mingling with the old school and the new school, and you're blending it. And so where do we go with these new times? It's respect. And so you respect the craft. You both have respect and integrity and discernment. So there you really want to value what you're stepping into and trust. Okay, can this be shared? And my team will be like, no and yes. And I listen. And so it's important to follow that gut instinct as well.
Now we are running out of time rapidly. We have seconds left. Debbie, how can people get a hold of you?
DebbieRomero.com. Very simple.
Sweet and simple. And follow your Facebook page. And just let anyone has trouble finding it, let me know. I'll direct them in the right place. Jeremy, how about you?
Very simple. Just look up Things Network and you can pretty much find me in there somewhere. Or if you don't want to look at the podcast page, you can also go to the group page, which is Things Paranormal Universe. And you can find me there too, or just look at my name on any of the platforms. I'll be there.
Awesome. Let's do this again. What do y'all think? Should we continue this conversation? All right. And we'll make it later for Jeremy next time.
Yeah, Jeremy. You okay with that, Jeremy?
We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow with Char Savoy. Everyone have a great night.
Good night, everybody.